Eyes, the windows to the soul, all those cliches. But eye contact is really important in the online environment. It can really help to build trust. It can really help to build rapport. It can really help your credibility. So I'm just going to take you through a few very simple rules. The first is you must look into the lens, not at yourself. Stop it. Stop being so self-obsessed. Stop staring at yourself. You've got to look into the lens. It's a bit of a tricky thing to learn to do this. So what feels natural is this. So this is me. I can now see myself. I'm looking at myself as I'm talking. This feels very natural to me and very normal to me. Probably to you watching this video, this feels like I'm not in contact with you anymore. I'm ignoring you. Whereas now if I look at the lens, if I look straight into the lens, it feels, I hope, very much more like I'm talking directly to you. And in the online environment, we want that one-on-one experience. So practice that. Look into the lens. If you find it difficult to do, what a lot of people find useful is to take something like a post-it note and draw a little arrow on it, or a smiley face pointing towards the lens, or a smiley face just above the lens, just to remind you of where to look, where to focus. I have a couple of friends who even go so far as to take an entire sheet of paper and they put it over their laptop screen with just a little bit torn out for the lens. That wouldn't suit me. I like to see people's faces as I'm talking, but it may help you. Once you've got the hang of that, and it takes a little bit of practice staring into the lens, another thing to think about is where your eyes are in the shot, because you are being framed in these online meetings. And generally it's a good idea. Let's borrow from the best. Let's borrow from the Renaissance artists. And anything important they wanted you to look at, they'd put roughly near the center of the picture, and they'd somewhere between half and 2/3 of the way up the frame. I am very aware, I'm probably going to get emails from people who are experts in Renaissance art telling me that what I've just said to you is absolute rubbish, but I said it with considerable confidence, so let's go along with the idea, right? So you want your eyes at least halfway up the screen, and ideally somewhere between halfway and about 2/3 of the way up the screen. If your eyes are much lower than that, it can reduce your credibility, your charisma, your presence. Not necessarily always, because there are times when it's appropriate to sit back and take your eyes out of the shot like this. But if you want to be, if you are the person giving a presentation, you are the person pitching an idea, you want to have a bit of gravitas and charisma about you. So get your eyes in the right place. And of course, that means being roughly in the center of the frame as well. A last thing, a very quick thing to say about eyes also is, obviously you don't necessarily have to stare into the lens the whole time. You will want to look away. But when you look away, make it purposeful so that you're not looking too shifty. So in other words, if you're constantly sort of glancing down to the side, looking at a few notes, it can make you look very hard to trust. So make it purposeful. So if somebody says something and you need to check a note, tell them. Right? So say, oh, that's really interesting. Let me just remind myself. I wrote something down. Oh yes, actually that's going to be 104 pounds. All right. Tell people you're looking at notes, or deliberately make it obvious that you're looking at notes. Don't try and hide it. Equally, when you're taking questions, you might want to think about a question. And so, if you're going to look upwards. Really look upwards. Don't sort of try and prevent yourself from looking away. So be purposeful about it. Don't be shifty about it. Okay, my friends, I hope that's useful for you. As always, get in touch if you have any queries or any help that you need my assistance with.